This video is part 3 to a series that I've been doing on the science of rhyming. In part 1, I covered the sounds of rhyming. In part 2, I covered the patterns and timing of rhyming. And in this video, I'm going to be covering how to juggle multiple rhymes at once. Links to the other videos will be in the video's description below. My name is ColeMize, and I've been helping rappers perfect their rap skills on this channel for the past 9 years. Now, let's get straight to it. One surefire way to improve your rhyming skills is to start juggling multiple rhymes within your bars. Most very beginner rappers will only rhyme on their end rhymes. For an example, I'ma teach you how to rhyme, so sit back and pay attention. Please try to focus to help with your comprehension. And if you apply it, you'll reach a whole nother dimension. Just keep putting in that work and you're gonna realize your vision. Now this sounded perfectly fine as is, but if this is the only rhyming technique that I use for an entire verse, then it's going to be too basic and too predictable, and it's going to get boring. Now, one surefire way that I could spice things up here is to create an internal rhyme scheme. And when I'm trying to determine which words that I should use for my next rhyme scheme, I typically pick words that are stressed. Stress just means they're held a little bit longer or said with a little bit more emphasis. And this gives them a 3D-like effect, like they're kind of popping out a little bit further, closer towards you from the rest of the lyrics. On my first bar, teach, rhyme, and back all feel like good choices. Also, notice how all these stressed words happen to be landing on beats. This is a common technique rappers use because kicks typically land on the first and third beat, and snares typically land on the second and fourth beat. And these are some of the loudest sounding parts of an instrumental. So rappers will often add stressed words on these beats to ride the groove of the instrumental, which causes their words to poke out to match these highly energetic parts of the instrumental. Again, this is a technique, not a rule. You can place your stressed words anywhere, and you don't always have to rhyme using stressed words either. In this case, I decided to rhyme with the word rhyme. Now, another thing to consider when you're trying to pick which words to rhyme with is what you're actually trying to say. I'll start cycling through the words that I've identified as good words to rhyme with, and then I'll start thinking about all the words that rhyme with those words. And then I would typically pick the word that has the rhymes associated with it that makes the most sense with whatever I'm trying to say. So in this case, I picked rhyme because the word time rhymed with it, and I decided I could tie it in by basically saying, I'm not going to waste your time. And as you can see, I decided to place time on the second beat to be aligned in time with rhyme. Understanding this thought process is very important because it will prevent you from chasing a rhyme scheme so much that your lyrics no longer make any sense. This means that you're going to think of a lot more rhymes that you end up not using because of that. I also decided to create another internal rhyme scheme on beat 3 of bar 3 and 4 by rhyming whole and yo. This rhyme scheme is a little more subtle because these are neighboring rhymes, which means they're close to each other but aren't perfectly aligned in time. And the next way that I increase the density of my rhymes is by using some internal rhymes. On bar 3, I rhymed ply on beat 1 with fi on beat 2. And on bar 4, I rhymed work on beat 2 with dirt on beat 3. Now, let's take a listen and see how this sounds. I'ma teach you how to rhyme, so sit back and pay attention. And I ain't gonna waste your time, man, let's get right down to business. If you apply it, you gonna be fire on a whole nother dimension. Putting in that work out the dirt to get to your vision. And by the way, the instrumental that I'm using in this tutorial is a beat that I produced called Spaced Out. If you like it, I'll post a link to it in the video's description below. Now let's talk about something that a lot of rappers struggle with when it comes to rhyming, and that's transitioning into new rhyme schemes. A great way to transition into a new rhyme scheme is by creating an internal rhyme on the bar that comes after the rhyme that you're transitioning out of. In this example, on bars 1 and 2, my end rhyme is goal and roll. And on bars 3 and 4, it's day and race. To pull off this transition, I simply created an internal rhyme on bar 3 with pray and slay, which rhymes with day. This allows the listener to go ahead and get a quick payoff instead of making them wait until the end of bar 4 to hear my new rhyme scheme be completed. And with this technique, your internal rhyme doesn't always have to rhyme with your end rhyme. In fact, anytime you create an internal rhyme with any words, it's going to make your bars sound more catchy. In addition to this internal rhyme, I also created an internal rhyme on bar 1 with mission and wishing, bar 2 with time man and grindin', bar 3 with the end sounds on moving and pushing, Bar 4 with carry on and marathon, and twisted and isn't. Internal rhymes are awesome, and they are a great tool to use for transitioning into new rhyme schemes. And here's how it sounds. On a mission, ain't no wishing, daily chasing towards the goal. All the time, man, we be grinding, want some bread, didn't know your role. After you pray, you gotta slay, keeping it moving and pushing each day. You gotta carry on, this is a marathon, don't get it twisted, this isn't a race. Another awesome way to transition into a new rhyme scheme is by extending the end rhyme that you're about to transition out of and rhyme with it at the beginning of the next bar. For an example, for these 4 bars, my end rhyme on the first 2 bars is goal and roll. Then I transitioned into my new rhyme scheme on bar 3 by extending my end rhyme by rhyming with Cole on the first beat. Now, to make this sound even better, I created a new internal rhyme with J that rhymes with my new end rhyme, shade. I love using multiple moves like this because it doesn't feel like we're just sitting around for that next rhyme scheme to be completed. Also, as you can see, I added a really cool new dense internal rhyme on bar 4 with trippin', pimpin', and win it to get my rhymes even more dynamics for this 4-bar section, and here's how it sounds. On a mission, ain't no wishing, daily chasing towards the goal. All the time, man, we be grinding, want some bread to know your role. My name is Cole, without the J, shining the light and I'm talking no shade. So don't be tripping all over me, pimping, I'm in it to win it, so please just behave, hey. And another great way to transition into a new rhyme scheme is by just simply pausing. And this is gonna do 2 things. One is it's changing your cadence and allowing you to pull back the energy of your rap flow. 2 is it's gonna give the listener a moment to think about what you just said or hold them in suspense to what you're about to say next. And this works particularly well if you just delivered a nice punchline as I did here by saying, want some bread? Then know your role. Or again, as I said, you can also leave your listener hanging in suspense during a pause. What she said next will forever haunt me. She said I smell like dirty laundry. Now in this example, I stretched out the word roll to fill in some of the empty space I was leaving behind. Then I paused and led into the 3rd beat. Also, another technique I'm using here is I shifted the placement of my end rhyme. On bars 1 and 2, my end rhymes are on the 4th beat, but on bars 3 and 4, my end rhymes are landing before the 4th beat. And you don't have to shift your end rhymes like this to use this pausing technique. This just made these bars feel a little more different than the first 2 bars, which is what I was going for. Also, notice how I created an internal rhyme on bar 4 with game and change to give the listener more of a payoff before my end rhyme scheme is completed. And here's how that sounds. On a mission, ain't no wishing, daily chasing towards the goal. All the time, man, we be grinding, want some bread to know your role. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a game. If you want change, then you better stop playing. Now, if you're wondering how long should you keep a rhyme scheme going before you decide to transition into a new one, then the answer is pretty simple. Once you've reached an even number of bars in your rhyme scheme, then you can switch it. So that could be a 2-bar rhyme scheme, a 4-bar rhyme scheme, 6, 8 bars, whatever. Just keep it an even number and it'll feel complete, and then you can transition into a new one. Now, as I say at the end of all of my videos, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. So keep what I just said in mind, because now I'm about to show you how to have an odd numbered rhyme scheme and make it sound complete. Now, if you want to pull off an odd rhyme scheme that sounds complete, break it on the 3rd bar with an internal rhyme, and then complete it on the 4th bar. In this example, my end rhyme on bar 1 is goal, and on bar 2, I complete this rhyme scheme with roll. On bar 3, I change my end rhyme to relaxin', which I also rhymed with my internal rhyme of passion and action. At this point, the listener is thinking I've just moved on to a new rhyme scheme because I just completed my 2-bar rhyme scheme before this. And subconsciously, they're expecting me to complete my new end rhyme scheme on the end of bar 4 by rhyming with relaxin'. But instead, on bar 4, I created an internal rhyme scheme with yappin' and cappin', which rhymes with passion and action from bar 3. And then on my end rhyme, I used the word toll to rhyme with my end rhyme from bars 1 and 2, which made my end rhyme scheme an odd number, while having an even number for my internal rhyme scheme on bars 3 and 4. So technically this rhyme scheme is both odd and even, which still gives it an element of completeness. And here's how it sounds. On a mission, ain't no wishing, daily chasing towards the goal. All the time, man, we be grinding, want some bread and know your role. Take your passion, put it to action, a little more work and less relax, and stop that yapping and that capping. This gon' show enough take its toll. Again, my name is ColeMize with ColeMizeStudios.com, where I strive to make you a better rapper now. And if you're trying to perfect your rap skills, make sure you check the video description below to links to my free ebook, The #1 Fundamental to Rapping, my quick guides to rapping, and also my one-on-one coaching service. And subscribe to this channel for more straight to the point, no BS, how to rap video tutorials just like this one. And always remember, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. Peace. Hey man, you see that subscribe button right there?